Come on in, everybody. Grab a seat, grab a glass of wine, grab a bottle of water, whatever it is that makes you feel good. And because we're going to get into this video. This is Married at First Sight, season 15. This is episode 13. Oh, no, this is episode, I think it's 14. And this video is going to be for Krysten and Mitch. If you haven't watched any of my videos before, welcome. I appreciate you being here. If you're returning, because you're one of my subscribers or listeners, hey, y'all, welcome back. I'm glad y'all could make it here with me tonight. And if you're a VIP member, shout out to you guys. Thank you for supporting my channel. And if you want to be a VIP member, you can go ahead and click the join button down below. But let's get into this video of Krysten and Mitch. And I don't want to sit up here and say, I told y'all so. But I'm going to say it. I told you so. I got a lot of flack last week. I was the odd woman out last week because my opinion of what went down between Mitch and Krysten was in the minority. I might have got a few people who agree with me, but let me tell you, I read all my comments and I respond to everybody, and I don't have a problem with it. Everybody said I was not looking at the whole picture, but I'm gonna tell you what, I hope y'all got a better picture of it now. And now you see what I was saying last week. The only reason, and I'm gonna say not the only, the main reason Krysten pitched that fit last week was because she was embarrassed in front of her sister and her family. Hear me out. That is the only reason she had that puff of bravado and she was pointing out like that. Because I'm telling you, people keep saying, oh no, Krysten doesn't want to be the attention getter, Deborah. You've got it all wrong. Nope. I don't have it all wrong. And in fact, I'm more convinced of it this week. In fact, there was somebody in the comments last week. I forget the person's name. I forget their handle. I am something. If you're out there, a shout out to you. I wish I could remember your handle from YouTube. But one of the things we talked about when we were talking about in the comments was that this thing with Krysten, her looks, goes well beyond before Mitch. Well beyond Mitch. This goes back to how Krysten probably felt in her childhood or growing up. Because let me tell you, that mother, we already know the mother is good looking and the mother is probably well into her 50s or 60s. Can you imagine growing up with a mother that was probably a bombshell? And let me tell you, that sister of Krysten's is also very good looking. I suspect Krysten has had insecurities around her looks for a long time. And all Mitch did was expose them even more. Krysten is insecure, and it wasn't all caused by Mitch. So when Krysten was sitting up here talking about she came in this secure, confident woman, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. And Mitch exposed the fact that you were not confident. Because let me tell you, anyone telling you, I like you without makeup, if you are a confident person, you are not shaken by that. But why she was shaken by it so much so in front of her sister and more than likely her mother, because I'm sure that sister told that mother the same thing. That sister went back and told the mother what the conversation was about. And Krysten probably ended up being embarrassed, not only for her mother, but in front of her sister. When that's a part of your history of always probably being the less attractive sister out of the other sister and out of the mother, let me tell you, that hit way too close to home and Krysten couldn't take it. That's why she had that blow up last week. Because now here you have it. She's all made up with Mitch. She's not only made up with Mitch, she is crying and asking for Mitch's forgiveness, people. So like I told you Krysten should stop talking about her marriage and what she doesn't like about Mitch to her friends. Because when she talks about Mitch and then she comes back and makes up with Mitch, it's confusing. Just like all of y'all wrote hard for Krysten last week. She talked about Mitch. Everybody wrote hard for her. Guess what? I bet y'all are feeling left right now. Because what she did was she dumped everybody and said, I'm back with my man, and my man told me I was pretty, and my man told me I'm beautiful, so I'm all good now. So even though y'all might still be upset, I'm not upset no more. So y'all need to get over it now. I told y'all. And she said, well, I'm just happy, Mitch, now you're telling me that I'm beautiful and I'm this and I'm that. And she liked all the words he said. And he said, it's not that I never felt those things before. I had said that you were attractively beautiful, but I didn't want to feel like a puppet. And that's what he felt like, because when Dr. Pepper was sitting there asking, do you think she's attractive? He said, yes. She asked, well, do you think she's beautiful? He said, yes. Well, do you think she's very attractive? He was like, what's going on here? What's going on here? Do you just want me to regurgitate of what you think? And then we all know Mitch. Mitch don't do stuff just because you want him to do it. It doesn't matter what he thinks. And what he felt at that point was, you all are trying to bully me and say something, even though I think he does think she's attractive. He didn't like the way things were going down and why it was coming out. And that's why he got all tight-tongued. I know y'all didn't want to see it last week, but I'm telling you, that's what happened. And now Krysten is all happy. But I'm going to clear up another thing about this attractiveness. Because I know when they were on this retreat, they try to put it to bed and they're doing their little bow and arrows and getting rid of the whole attraction thing. I'm going to talk about that too. But I'm going to tell you what's going on with Mitch. Mitch, in the words of attractive, this was one of the questions, and I'm a little question and answer, the difference between attractive and attracted. When Mitch saw Krysten, when he first met her, he was not attracted to her. He was looking at her from the physical point, and from the physical point, she isn't his type that he would be attracted to. He wouldn't look at Krysten and say, she's beautiful. He wouldn't. Let's get over it. He wouldn't say it. But what has happened to Mitch is he's done what happens to a lot of people when they grow in love. And what they start to do is they start to see you as a whole person. They don't just see you from the physical side. So what has happened to Mitch is he has grown in love with Krysten. He is probably thinks she's beautiful now, because what he's seeing about her is just not her exterior. He's seen everything else about Krysten that he loves that makes him believe she is beautiful and she's attractive. But what Krysten did was she tried to diminish his attraction to only being about looks. And what Mitch was trying to say is, gosh, I'm so beyond your looks. I'm so beyond your looks. I think you're beautiful and attractive because I see you as a whole woman. But Krysten, because she is so insecure about her physical looks, and it comes from her childhood, I'm telling you, she needed the validation about her physical looks. And what Mitch was really trying to tell her was that I love you well beyond your physical looks now. I like the whole Krysten. And as a result, I'm falling in love and I think you're beautiful. But Krysten was fixated on wanting to be seen as beautiful just by her looks alone. And this is why she had such a problem last week. And now, because he said to her, oh, you're attractive and you're beautiful physically, now she feels like she's comfortable and she can rest. That's fine, Krysten, but I already know who Krysten is. I know who Krysten is. Doesn't mean I don't like Krysten. But the person that Krysten tries to present is not actually who she is. Krysten is insecure about her looks. Okay, she's not that person. And then this whole thing. Do you think it was a coincidence that Krysten and Alexis were the ones being the MCs of the game? No, it's not a coincidence, because these are the two hams of the whole season. Krysten likes to be up on stage. She likes to be the center of attraction, and so does Alexis. That's why they're both hosts. I keep telling you, Krysten likes to be the center of attraction, and anything that distracts from that, she takes it really hard. This is why she wanted to be the MC, all these things. I wish some people, you know what, people in the comments, drop down. Does anybody see what I'm seeing? Because people think Krysten is this benevolent person and she doesn't care about anything. She just cares about other people all the time. It's not true. Even goes back to when I was telling you when she used to give all these compliments out to people. I go, why does she give out so many compliments like it's candy? She gives them out because it makes her look good, people. She gives out compliments because then you'll say she's a nice person. Krysten likes to look good in people's eyes. Even these awards that they had at this prom. She's like, well, I voted for myself to be the best dancer. That's fine, Krysten. You can vote for yourself to be the best dancer because she thought she could dance. And she can't dance, but that's okay. Life of the party. She really wanted to be called the life of the party, but everybody gave it to Alexis. But I know Krysten wanted to be the life of the party. She absolutely wanted to be the life of the party. She wants to be the one that everybody looks at. Oh, Krysten. Krysten likes a fan club. She really does. But you know, Mitch is learning. Mitch is a quick study. You know, I thought he couldn't learn, but let me tell you, Mitch was saying all the right things this time. He was telling her, you know what? I know that Lindy's going to be the prom queen tonight because she, you know, this is for her. But let me tell you, you my prom queen. I mean, Mitch was rapping to Krysten the whole night. He was saying all kind of things about, you know what? I know I'm supposed to choose someone else, but I'm going to choose my wife. I'm team Krysten no matter what. There's really no other answer. She the one I'm down for. Mitch was trying to hold Krysten down the whole time. And you know what? Krysten was loving it. She was loving that Mitch is finally now being her fan club. And let me tell you, nothing is wrong with it. I don't have a problem with Mitch being Krysten's fan club, and he needs to be her fan club. But what I don't like when Krysten won't admit that's what she needs. When she tries to admit that she doesn't need a fan club and she's the benevolent one and she's the giver, when the truth of the matter is Krysten is just almost as insecure as Mitch was. Let's be honest. And she needs a fan club just as much. And then all of a sudden Krysten is feeling herself becoming this MC. Everybody's laughing at her jokes. She's having a good time. She's at the center of the stage. She's letting loose. You know, she's the MC. She's in control of everything. She's the hostess. She's having a good time. And then Mitch starts to become the butt of her jokes. And then Mitch wins the award of who's most likely to save the planet. Of course, it's Mitch. And then she starts calling him a son of the Mitch. I'm glad you can laugh about it now, Krysten. Krysten, I'm glad you could laugh about it. And I'm glad Mitch is laughing alongside with you. Because let me tell you something. You don't want Mitch to go back to the son of the Mitch because you will be in tears real soon. But she's pushing it. She's pushing it. She's mocking Mitch a lot. She's trying to, you know, because now she's got everybody laughing. She's the center of attention. And now he's the butt of her jokes. Even this little thing about who's more likely to get divorced. I didn't think that shit was funny. I didn't think it was funny what she did. And Mitch sat over there and held it in. But she thinks it's funny because everybody's laughing with her and she's the center of attention and she's funny and all these other kind of things. And Mitch is saying, yeah, I like my wife. I like her like this because she seems happy. That's what Mitch likes. He says, at least she's not over here crying. At least she's not over here telling me that she wants to get a divorce. But what he's recognizing is, what he's recognizing though, that part of her happiness is because she is now the center of attraction. She is now the belle of the ball. She is now the one getting all the attention. And now she is in her happy place. That's what she likes. See, what Krysten didn't like about Mitchism was that part of Mitchism, he was getting attention. And then as Mitch started improving and everybody kept saying, oh, Mitch is getting better, he was getting attention. This is what upset Krysten. Krysten likes the attention. You see, so that's why she couldn't celebrate Mitch getting better because she wants to be celebrated. And that's why she's having such a good time at this prom and this whole weekend because she is in her element. She's MC. She's having a good time. Everybody's laughing about it. And her husband is her fan club. I'm with it, Krysten, but I know who you are. I know who you are. And even Mitch had to call it out. He said, you know what? I guess Krysten is taking a page out of my book. You know what? She's dishing it out, you know, because normally this is the kind of stuff I would do. And this is stuff I would kind of say, talking about who's more likely to get divorced. He goes, but now Krysten is doing what I normally do. There you go. That's why she didn't like when Mitch did it, because that made Mitch the center of attraction. But now all of a sudden she can do it and ain't nothing wrong with it because she's just joking around and having fun. Nah, this is this center of attention stuff. I know what this is. Even when they get ready to go to this archery and Krysten says, oh, okay, I'm competitive. I like to win. I know you're competitive. You compete for the stage. I already know it. She goes, oh, I'm competitive. I want to win. You know, I want to win the archery game. I'm telling you, Krysten, Alexis, center of attention, competitive, likes to win. This goes back to Krysten's childhood. She said she was in the sports. She said she liked to win. She talked about how her mom was critical on her. She always had to be perfect and be the best. I'm telling you, this is Krysten in adult years. You want to know what she's bringing to the marriage that's baggage? Here it is, people. I hope you're looking at it. This is Krysten's baggage. Even Krysten comes up with this game, which I thought it was nice. She goes, you know what? I want to write on a piece of paper stuff we want to leave behind, and we're just going to throw the dart at it. I actually like the exercise. I actually do something like this every New Year's Eve. I burn things I want to leave behind the year before. So if there's any bad habit or anything I didn't like that I don't want to carry into the next year, my husband and I, we write it down on a piece of paper. I think it's called the burning bowl. We actually do it in our whole fire pit. and we write them down on pieces of paper. We throw them in the fire pit and we say a prayer over it, to say goodbye to it because we don't want to carry it into the next year. We do that every New Year's Eve. It's one of our rituals. And so I like the idea of what they were doing. It's kind of a take on it. And that is, let's put up on the archery board what it is we don't want to talk about anymore. Let's bury it so we don't talk about it anymore. And so she decides, I want to put up on the board the attractive part because I don't want to talk about this anymore, about how you're not attracted to me. Oh, we know she don't want to talk about that. She goes, I want to put that up on the board. And he goes, yeah, I agree. Let's put that up on the board. And, they obliterate it. They put the arrows in it. And he says, well, you know what? The experience for me that wasn't so great was the pool gate when it happened at the pool. He says, I would like to put that back on the board and let me obliterate that because that wasn't a good moment for me. But what does Krysten do? The center of attraction who needs, no. I like that moment because if we didn't have that moment, then guess what? You wouldn't be here telling me all these compliments. Like I told you, I'm telling you. So what Mitch wanted to bury, she wants to keep it alive because what she said was, even in that moment, it made her the center of attraction again. You see, you people. So wait a minute. You were the one that blew up at Poolgate. It was such a horrendous moment, but because it was a moment where all of a sudden he praised her, she wants to keep it, even though it's a moment that Mitch doesn't want. I'm telling you. I know who Krysten is. And all this competitiveness, in a lot of ways, she has been competing with Mitch, I'm telling you, for the attention on this show. And what has happened is Mitch has gotten negative attention because of his behavior. And a part of her being upset with Mitch was not just for what Mitch was doing, but how it was not making her the center of attraction. And she didn't like all that praise he was getting for getting better. So then she comes out here and reincarnates, let me mimic and mock Mitch. Let me put on this shirt. Why are you bringing that back up? Wearing those shirts happened so long ago, and it was such a bad moment in your relationship. Why the heck would you bring that up? Here you are supposed to be on the road to recovery, and you're going to bring up a moment when he didn't want to wear the shirt. Why are you bringing that moment up again? You know why she's bringing it up again? Because it's another moment for her to look funny, for everybody to laugh at Krysten. And look at Krysten, she's the life of the party. Why would you want to bring that up, Krysten? It was such a bad moment. It was a bad moment for Mitch. It was a bad moment for you as a couple. And you're bringing that up? That happened weeks and weeks ago. That ain't funny. But once again, Mitch is laughing. He's letting it roll off of him. But I'm going to tell you what. She better be very careful what she's doing, because lying beneath that is that same old Mitch. And at any moment in time, he can come right out, and let me tell you, he is tougher than her, and he can put her 2 feet under a rock with 2 words. Mitch is a professional at this. She better be very careful of prodding and going too far with this, because at any moment in time, a Mitch can put her 2 feet under. All he got to say is one thing. I don't like what you got on. All he got to do is say one little thing about the way he don't like the way she look or what she wearing, and Krysten gonna be 2 feet under the ground. But I feel vindicated this week, y'all. I feel vindicated this week with Krysten because it all played out. And everybody who was riding hard for Krysten last week, she kicked y'all to the curb. That's exactly what she did. She kicked y'all to the curb, and she said, I'm back with my man. So even though you may still have a problem with my man, too bad. Anyway, that's it, y'all. Watch my other videos. You'll see links here above. Tell me what y'all think. Drop down in the comments. And please don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, and introduce yourself down below. Talk to y'all later. Bye.